Everyone. In this video, I've got three different things to talk about. Um, but before I get into them, uh, well, in the video description, there are a ton of ways to get a hold of us. We're building a community here, right? So, ton of different ways to talk to us, ton of different ways to get more information, ton of different ways to try out Cortex on your own systems. Um, and of course, the highlight is that every Tuesday we run a virtual users group. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we'd love to have you. There's links in the description on how to get an invite. So, with that being said, I've got three things to talk about today. The first thing is that we've released Cortex 1.3.2. Um, so that's the second patch release of the third minor version of the first major version of Cortex. Um, I think I've talked a little bit about our numbering scheme in previous videos, or at least kind of how our roadmap plays out. Um, but basically, 1.3 has been all about authentication and security groups. So we've done two tiny little tweaks, and actually, we're probably going to make a third tweak here shortly um, to support just a few more databases. All of this has been driven by feedback coming from you all, the community, which actually ties into the second uh, goodie that I have for you in today's video. And that is that we have a brand new feedback system. So I'll leave a link in the description below, but it's cortex.canny.io. It's a service called Canny, and basically it's very similar to what you've used for both Cherwell and now Avanti. You have an idea for Cortex, you can add it to the site. If you run into an issue or need support, we still ask that you contact us. Again, plenty of information down in the video description, so that we can handle it right away. So that there's no waiting time. And realistically, um, you know, we don't care how many people vote on your particular problem. We want to fix your particular problem. But this new service will allow the entire community to vote on additional ideas and that sort of thing. And feel free to be creative with it. Feel free to ask for crazy things. Shoot for the moon. If there's something that you really want to see in Cortex that you're not even sure is part of our future plans, don't worry about it. We've got some crazy ideas of our own. We want to really push the boundaries with this thing. But, obviously we've got to start with reality. But eventually, who knows? We want to solve your problems, and we want Cortex to be absolutely amazing. Realistically, we want to see Cortex be everything that we know Cherwell could have been. And we'll get into that in future videos. Let's talk about audit, archival, compliance, all that good stuff, because that's what we need right now, right? Which brings us to the third thing to talk about in this video, and I'm going to switch over to the demo screen. We're in the process of giving Cortex a little bit of a makeover. Not too much. It's not going to be changed drastically, but this is kind of where we're going for 1.4. In addition to some definite feature improvements aimed at further enabling you to search for the records that you're looking for, and also export the information from those records that you really need. We're trying to build out the UX to more clearly delineate the things that are, Cortex opinions and the things that are Cherwell opinions. And the first step was redesigning the search page. So it's not a huge redesign, but the main thing is that the sidebar is present when you're on the search page, which means that you can just go to browse. Right from there, you can go back to search. That's not an issue. Uh, Also, as part of that, we moved this top bar, which really wasn't doing a whole lot. The only thing that it really showed was a link to help, which goes to our documentation site. And I apologize, it's actually off the bottom of my screen, but I promise you it's there. It's down here. It's under the mouse. Um, and it shows a few things. It shows who you're logged in as and a way to log out. It shows a link to the documentation site. It's just called help. And then it shows the version information. And we actually changed up how we're doing, how we're presenting the version information a little bit. So there's kind of a friendly name or a friendly version, and like an internal coded version. Um, every build has its own uh, coded version, the internal version. But the friendly version helps describe kind of like where we are along the roadmap. So right now, if you go to the demo site, okay, link down below, it's 1.4.0-alpha because we're kind of in the alpha phase of developing 1.4. Um, but at time of recording, the internal version is 1.4.0.224. This will help us track if you report a bug, we'll know which version the bug existed in. And if we start making changes and all of a sudden we can't reproduce it, we'll be able to tell that, oh, maybe something got fixed in between whatever version you reported it in and where we are now. And we can use that internal version to kind of gauge that. Um, but as part of removing that bar across the top, that means that each page kind of has its own title. And if we get into not so much grids, but the BizOp forms, which uh, might have gotten stuck. All right, there we go. The BizOp form. It always waits till I do a demo, and it's like, nope, you thought you were doing a demo. Just kidding. So get to the BizOp form, and you'll notice that pretty much everything that isn't part of that sidebar is stuff that's being driven by the Cherwell configuration. Um, and this is going to be a theme as we continue to add more stuff to Cortex. Um, Basically, everything uh, to the left of this line right here is the way we're choosing to present the Cherwell information and all of the configuration and organize it in a way that makes sense for the use cases that we're designing for. Everything to the right of that line is basically the Cherwell experience. Um, and one of the things that's kind of on the horizon is along the lines of Cherwell's top bar that has various options, right? Because we're a web uh, client, we don't need a full menu bar, but there are some things that are part of the Cherwell experience that just haven't become part of the Cortex experience yet. Um, all that to say, if there's something specific that you're looking for that you'd want to see in Cortex, definitely give us feedback about that. Definitely go to cortex.canny.io and drop that as a piece of feedback, as a feature request, I believe is what Canny calls it, and we'll slide it in on the roadmap. You'll be able to see that there's different phases, so it's like under consideration and then planning and in progress and that sort of thing. And there are a few things already there. You might recognize some of them. Basically, everything that people have told us from just our conversations and emails and setting things up for people um, went on to Canny. We just put that on there because we want to be transparent about what we're working on. I will say that uh, that's not the only stuff that we're working on. We do have our own internal issue tracker, bug tracker, um, story tracker, things that we're working on, project management tool, for lack of a better term. Um, Not all of that is customer feedback. Some of it is experiments that we want to try out, further exploration we want to do into the data, things that we want to add because we think it's cool and it serves our purposes. Um, we are starting to use Cortex more and more internally because we're also starting to use our partner version of Cherwell more and more internally to try to prove out some ideas and try some things out. We're having fun with it. It's really cool. We're excited about where we're going. Um, and some of the videos coming soon will be some deeper dives into some of that stuff. But again, if you have ideas, if you have feedback, let us know. Cortex.candy.io. Make sure you come to the users group. Um, Again, link down below for a link to get invited to that. I think this video will come out Monday night. So um, when this comes out, tomorrow morning is the next Cortex users group. Again, every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific on Zoom. Um, and yeah, we're really excited about what we're working on. We've got a lot of cool things planned that, again, we'll be talking about in future videos. We'll be demoing in future videos. Um, and we're starting to see Cortex get used in a lot of exciting ways. And we're really learning a lot by working with all of you and actually seeing how you use Cherwell and how you're using Cortex and ultimately making sure that Cortex works the right way for you. So lots of exciting stuff. Have I mentioned that? I'm really excited about all this. I hope you are too. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below, send us an email, schedule some time with us, show up to the users group, send in some feedback. This is a community. Let's make it feel like a community. I'll see you all in the next one.